Welcome crafters, I'm Lisa from the brand Lisa Horton Crafts, and I'm popping in today with a video to talk to you about something very exciting. Ink pads, brand new metallic ink pads. They are phenomenal. They are beautiful colours. They are absolutely stunning, and there is so much you can do with them. I'm going to flick you to the overhead and we're going to have a look at the colours, and I'm going to talk to you about exactly what you can do with these wonderful inks. So let's bring these in. There are 10 in the set. They are gorgeous colours and they just make my heart happy. When I see these laid out, I look at them and think, oh, wow. So first of all, we have an amazing array of core colours. We also have a couple of additional kind of, when I say metallics, I mean like your bronze and your titanium and your fool's gold. So we do have kind of a mixture of colours here, and they all are going to be grey on black and white card. So I'll just go through them from this end. We've got our Sunshine, Love Struck, Mojito, Coastline, Pumpkin, Fool's Gold, Ultraviolet, Titanium, Bronze and Verdigris. Now they're all very different colours. A couple of the lids may look similar, but when you get the ink down onto the cardstock, you will see they are different. I would do my best to get the shine for you, but on camera this can be tricky sometimes. But you will have you will have seen probably our previous metallics, and it will give you a good insight into what you can expect from these two. Now I'm going to start actually with the yellow and the blue, the Coastline and the Sunshine. And the reason I'm starting with these is that I'm going to be able to show you here how they also blend. So when you think of a metallic, you think of a solid colour that will work on its own. You don't always think of a metallic ink that will work with another ink and blend together. So obviously here, yellow and blue, I'm anticipating a green. So let me get some cardstock out, my brushes and anything else I'm going to need, and we'll go through them and we'll have a look and see at what happens when we place that colour down. Now this is a really cute little freebie stencil that I had a year or two ago, and I had some spares, so I thought I'd come in with this. It's really tiny, but it does exactly what we need it to. It has a little flower on it and a little leaf on there, so we'll get an idea of what the colour looks like. So I'm also going to bring in some white and black cardstock. And this is what we call our ish cardstock, because it is A6 size, but it's just under A6. So it's A6-ish. It's super smooth on the white and solid black on the black cardstock. The black is 300 GSM and the white is 280 GSM. I'll bring out a couple of pieces of each and we will have a look now, and we will see how the ink reacts on the different cardstock. So I've also got some brushes here. I love to use my own stencil brushes. They come in 3 sizes in the pack. We have our chunky version and we have our much smaller version. So the brushes that we sell go anywhere from, I'm just trying to grab one here, from this size to this size. So there's really large brushes and really small brushes. So you don't have to worry about what size you use. It depends what works for you best. So I'll bring those in for now and let's get started. So I will move these just to the top. I'll pop these down here, bring in my green and my blue brush. I know we're using yellow, however I don't think there's a lot of ink left on here, so we will have a look and see, and if there's a little excess we can wipe that off. So let's try first of all with that green. There is a tiny bit of green, actually, you can see here. So what I'll do is I'll wipe that off. Now that's the Mojito, but when I lift this up, you'll see, you'll still get the shimmer. Can you still see that? Isn't that crazy? And that is literally the excess coming off that brush. I'm going to continue with this brush though, because I think it's going to be absolutely fine. So I'm going to turn over and I'm going to bring in this little stencil. Now, obviously it is a tiny stencil, and for now you probably won't see an awful lot, but when we get the ink down, it will become much clearer. So we're going to use the yellow And the yellow is called Sunshine. We've got Sunshine and Coastline. So apologies if I get the names confused sometimes. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about the ink around the edge. I'm going to pop a little piece of low tack masking down. So I've got my little tape holder there. And let's just pop a little piece of tape here. It doesn't really matter because we're only practicing, but if you have, you know, a stencil which is really close to the edge, it's always handy just to tape it down so you don't go over your cardstock. So let's pop that there as well. And to be fair, I might end up in the leaves or other areas, but it's not really a big issue. So take your ink and we're going to go all over the top, and you can see straight away how vibrant and how juicy these inks are. And that yellow is stunning. Absolutely stunning. There's a tiny hint of the green in there. I'm not really too worried though. And that's beautiful. Now what we can do now is I could lift that up and I could show you. Let me see. You can see the shine even through the stencil. So you could leave that as a yellow if you wanted to. You could bring in a pink, you could bring in an orange, any other colour. But I'm going to pop in with a blue. And the reason I'm going to pop in with the blue is I think it would be cool for you to see how this piece turns green when we place that ink down. Now again, I'll take a spare piece of card and I will see if I've got blue on there. Yes, I have. So actually, I might not even need to put any more blue on, but we will see. And I'm going to go into the centre and I'm going to go around in circles. And I'm going to be very light in the middle here. I don't know if you can see that it looks blue on the stencil, but it looks green on the actual ink pad or the ink. So when I lift this up, you will see the difference. And I'm just going to go darker and darker in the middle. Obviously, you can be a little bit more careful with yours. When I lift that off, hopefully you'll see that you've got the green and the yellow, and you haven't got a trace of blue at all. So look at this. So you can still see that shine coming through. Hopefully I'll lift that up for you a little bit better. So there you go. So it doesn't kind of deteriorate the shine when you pop the other colour over the top. So that is your coastline and your sunshine. So a very, very beautiful finish to that. So what we'll then do is we'll bring that stencil back in again. And I will now take that tape off, and we can now take our circle that goes in the middle. Just going to use the smaller one. And if I want to, I can just use the blue now, and you'll see the blue will be a much different colour to the green. I actually bring in a smaller brush for that because that is way too big. And I think I might have gone into that little other circle there, but never mind. Look, so straight away you can see the blue is definitely blue. And you've got your yellow and green there as well. So straight away, you can see already the benefit of these inks. I'm actually going to wipe this blue off because I think it's quite heavy. And I think what will happen, I will contaminate other areas, which I really don't want to do. So I'm just going to take a little cloth, give that a little wipe off. Not perfect, but it will wipe off most of that excess. So look, even there, you can see where the colours have mixed, they've gone green. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this little leaf in. This is a really handy little stencil, actually. I really need to do some more of these. And what I'm now going to do is show you how we can mix other colours. So if we mix the pink with the yellow and see if we can get a little bit of orange. I am going to shift to smaller brushes. So I've got brushes here, which will be ideal. So I think we're going to go, or what should we do first? I think we're going to go pink. And I want you to see this pink with the orange. And I'll move these colours again to one side. Yeah, we'll do the pink first. Sorry, I was thinking out loud. Now, this is Love Struck. And I would take the ink and I would take my lid and I would pat off in the lid because these are juicy colours. I'm going to pop the pink just down here, and I'm not going to treat this like I want it a really solid heavy colour. I'm just going to be very gentle and build up that ink. Okay, And I'm not trying to go to the edge of the stencil. I'm just going in the center of the stencil. So just up the vein in the middle and a little bit down those leaves, but not all the way down. And then I'll build up that color. And when you put the color over the top, you'll find that it kind of sits perfectly over that base color. And then a little bit more, all the way up, just leaving some space at the tip so you can get that orange or the pumpkin over the end of those stencils. Now you'll see here that I haven't taped this down, I'm just holding it. If you want to tape yours down, you absolutely can do that. Let me grab my tape because I need to grab the other ink and I don't want to move my stencil. So we'll turn the lid over again. We'll bring in an orange brush and I'm going to pop the orange in the lid, and then I'm just going to start from the outside and come in. From the outside and blend in. Okay. It doesn't matter if you go over the pink at all, but blend up to and over the pink a little bit. Right. And you'll see when I lift this off in a minute how gorgeous the result is. I'm not going to worry about that centerpiece, that can stay pink, that's fine. Now if you want a stencil like this, you can make this if you've got a Cricut or a scan and cut or something. You can make really cool stencils really simply. So look at that now, so you can see that, but when I do this, hopefully, it's a smaller area, makes it trickier to catch, but I think you could see the pink is starting to shine for you. So here we go. Try and catch that light for you. There you go. You can see the orange and the yellow and the pink and the green is all super shiny. Let's do the big flower again in those colors so you can see the beauty of it in its full glory. So what I'm going to do is take another piece of card, just a white piece of card, and I am going to take the tape off and we're going to pop this stencil down here. So the artwork falls off the edge of the stencil. Can you see that? Let me put my finger under there. So it falls off the edge of the stencil. It's absolutely fine, but it gives you kind of that off the page look. It's really cool. So let's come back in with that pink and we'll do this again. So I'll turn the lid over and we're going to come in with that stencil and we're going to go from the middle and we're going to come out. So when that dries, because it's a small brush, just use some of that excess ink just to fan that out just a little bit, and then you can come back in and you can increase that ink all the way around, just like so. Keep it kind of almost fluffy at the edges. So try not to have a hard edge because that's when it becomes more difficult to blend on any ink, not just these. So if you make sure you've got plenty of ink, keep that kind of nice and fluffy, as I keep saying, and it gives you that softer look around the edge. And then what we'll do is we'll come back in with that beautiful orange. I might bring you in just a touch. Let me see if I can bring you in a bit. Just a little bit, not too much, because all you'll see is my hands. And then we'll bring that orange, the pumpkin, back in again. We'll pick some up, dab off, and then we'll come around the edge. And then we'll make sure that that pumpkin goes into the pink, as I say, so you don't end up with a harsh edge. And it does really make a difference when you do this. And you'll see why I suggested that you make sure you don't kind of have that harsh edge. So even the pieces that are off the page, make sure you just give those a little tap on the end so you've got some colour on each one. And you'll see when I lift this up, it's beautiful. But what I'm going to do is go back in with that pink and make the pink in the centre, the Love Struck, a little more kind of darker, so we get two really different tones. And again, you can just blend that out. Also, it's worth noting with the coloured metallics, they do take a little bit longer to dry and it takes a little longer for that shine to appear. But once it does, it's beautiful. So hopefully, can you see that now? My lighting is dreadful in my studio at the moment. It's a difficult time of the day to record, but you can see that there. You've got it's perfectly blended. and it looks super cool. And then what I can do is I can just take maybe the yellow, the sunshine, and come back. But I do know that I used a blue in there, so I'm going to give that a little wipe again, just to wipe that off, so I don't get any blue in the center. Or I could use the larger one actually. Let's use the larger one. And where's that yellow brush? Come in the middle and lift that up like so. There you go. So now you can see how you can use these. You can see them drying already, the shimmers. This is how you can use your inks in just a different way. So this is a metallic ink that I've been using here for blending. So hopefully you can see that gorgeous shine coming through. And as it dries, it gets more and more intense. So that's on white card. Okay, but we can also do this on black card, remember, because we do have the metallic element in these inks. They're beautiful. So let's bring in the black card and let's do the same. So I am going to use that same stencil. Let's use our piece of scrap card here. And what I'll do is I would take a little mister bottle and I will just put one little squirt on there and we'll wipe this off, which I think will be quite a lot of ink that comes off of this, because they do retain a lot of ink, these stencils, because the ink sits on the top. But there we go. So remove that ink, and now we'll bring our piece of card back, and again we'll just do the flower. So I think this time maybe, shall we do, oh, let's think about what we can do now. I'm thinking the blue on the black would be really cool. And then we could go titanium. Let's have a look and see what works. Let's see. I mean, you've got so many choices of what you can do. So where should we start? I think we start with the titanium actually. And let's get another brush because I've run out of brushes there. I'm bringing the titanium, I think. So this brush has got a tiny little bit of grey on it. Now, when you look at this, you think, well, this is like the silver shine you had. It isn't. It's a much more... it's a deeper grey. Let me see if I can find, have I got my titanium and my silver shine next to each other? So that's the two. You can see the silver shine is a different tone of grey. The titanium is darker. So let me just show you silver shine next to the titanium. So can you see the difference? There is a huge amount of difference. Okay, so titanium comes across on white card really dark, okay, really dark. But when we use it on our stencil, it starts off dark. Actually, I might just do this one silver, titanium, so you can see. And as I said, remember, the ink takes a little longer to dry and you will literally see the shine appear. So just try not to be too impatient, because what you'll do is if you keep putting ink on before the underlying or the underlayer is dried, all you're going to do is just move the ink around. So what I'm going to do is come back in very briefly and I'm going to lift that up. I'll keep the stencil there. I know which way it goes. And let me show you now. Can you see that now? So you've now got your titanium on black. When I hold it close to me like this, it looks like you can't see much, but when it starts to dry, as you can see, you get that stunning color. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that stencil back on and I'm going to show you what happens, and I'm going to twist it so it's not over the top now. I don't know what this is going to turn out like, to be fair. This is me testing something out with you. I'm going to turn the stencil around just a little bit so you kind of creating different petals, or a different shaped flower even. And I'm going to bring in the coastline, which is that blue. And what I will do is keep these all together. I think there's a lot of ink there. I don't want to make it look too messy there. So literally the circle was there in the middle and I'm going to rotate it so the circle stays where it is, and we'll grab some of that blue. Now I see there's a ton of blue in the lid. There's also still some titanium left on the stencil. So I'm going to see what happens when we do this. Now, again, the blue leave to dry. Don't keep thinking, I need to add more because I can't see it. I can't see it. Just leave it as it is. And if you want to pat, you can pat rather than blend in. And then I can see this. You can't yet. I'll lift that up and you'll see that when the blue starts to dry, you can see it's still a little bit wet when I do this. So you can start to see you can overlap colours as well. You absolutely can. So you get some really different cool effects depending on how you use them. Now let's pop a little centre in there and let's pop a yellow in there. Now that's still a little bit damp, so you could do your heat embossing with this if you wanted to. I'm just going to take my tissue and give that a little wipe. Yeah, you can see that on the back. So that is still a little damp, but if I bring it back in, that sunshine, which is your yellow, and we'll use the big flower, big center again, because that's what I used last time. And I'll go into the middle here with sunshine. And again, you think, oh, well, that's not very bright. And I'm going to leave it. Oh, I'm a bit wonky there. Let's move over a little bit. It's not a very good circle, Lisa. There we are. I'll leave that. And then what I'll do is I'll pop the lid on while that's drying and I will lift that up for you. And then you'll see, can you see as that's drying how gorgeous that is? So you can see how they work in very different ways. You can also, let me give this stencil a wipe off again. This little stencil's coming in really handy. Let's just wipe all the ink off of there because we don't need that anymore, and off my brush. So you've got, you'll wonder why I'm doing this, but you'll see in a minute there's just excess ink on here. You can't see anything at the moment, but what I want you to see is when I lift that up, even the tiniest amount of excess ink, can you see you still get that shimmer coming through? So if you want a light coating, you absolutely can do that. But if you want to keep it heavy, you can do that as well. So black card and then white card. So mostly people use metallics for their black card, but now we've brought this out into the market where you can use the metallics on your white card as well, and they look equally as beautiful and they blend incredibly, really, really well. So obviously now you've seen how they blend beautifully. I've got a little swatch which my, you know, when I first started using them. So what I did, excuse my arm, I literally took the colours and I swatched them. So here we've got the Mojito, Sunshine, Pumpkin, Coastline, Ultraviolet, and here was a little bit of excess of the titanium. Oops, sorry about that. Let's bring that camera back into focus. The inks are really playing with that camera, aren't they? And then we have the, up here at the top, you have your Love Struck, Verdigris, Titanium, and you'll see here you have bronze and fool's gold, and that was a little bit of the excess I had left of the pumpkin, and that still gives you the shine. So let's make sure you can see all of those. Some are easier to see than other. So let's do something else. Now I do get asked a lot whether you can stamp with these inks. The answer is you can, but also I would say they are not my ink of choice if I was doing stamping. So I've got this tiny little stamping block, and I'm going to bring in I've got a set of stamps here, but I've also got some more detailed stamps here. I actually might use these. Let's see both. Let's see both. So tiny little stamping block, and let's grab a piece of card again. So I'll pick some more of that ish card out because it works well. And I'll show you on black and white. Now, I don't think it stamps as well on black. And I think because of the nature of the ink, you don't get, for me, I would say my most favourite result. So I'm going to pick something like a verdigris because that's a nice green. You're going to be able to see it well. And I'm going to pop one of these stamps on the back. Let's pop, I don't know, just because. Oh, lovely lots, lovely lots. I'll grab that one there. Okay, as you can see, that was hard to come off. And I obviously haven't used that much before. So I'm going to pop the stamp in the middle there. And I'm going to ink this. I've never used this platform before. And let's see what that looks like. So that's our verdigris on the back of the stamp. And let's turn that around and see what result you get. And this will give you an idea about whether you would like to use them for stamping. So you do get a good stamp. Let me show you that. You do get a good stamp. And you actually get a really nice finish, and you do get the shine coming through. You can see that on the lots there. Yeah. Now let me do the same on the black card. Okay, let's move that out of the way. This is just to give you an idea whether you feel you would like to use them for stamping. That, I would use that absolutely every day of the week. I would use that. I feel that sometimes when you've got like a pigment ink, the issue you have is you have kind of the ink does pool in some places. So you don't get that crisp image that you would like with our solid black, or, you know, another brand of ink that you choose to use. So this is an honest review of my inks and what I feel they work best for. So I can see it here on the black. You see that? But I feel like it isn't one that I would. So if you want these for stamping, I probably would say they're fine on white. Don't use them on black if you're looking for a really bright result. So we'll go with the U because it's a big letter and it's more solid. It will give you a different result. So let's go with that verdigris again, shall we? And then we'll come in. We'll try a different colour as well if you want. And we can have a look at that. So from my point of view, these are photopolymer stamps, by the way. It does give a good crisp finish. However, you tend to lose some of that sparkle, if you like. So let's pop that down. This is a really solid one, so let's make sure we cover all areas. Look at that. Great stamp. It is a great stamp, and I feel that you still get the shine on the white. Not as much as you do when you do your blending. Not as much as when you do something like this. Okay. But you do still get some of the shimmer. So let's pick a different colour. Let's go with Love Struck maybe, and try something completely different. Now there is still a little bit of the colour on here, but probably not enough to worry about, but I'll give it a, yeah, there is. And I can see there is some of the sparkle left on there. So it could be that the polymer is sticking that gorgeous, gorgeous shine. But I will do this just so you can see on the white, and then we'll do one on the black. Oops, doesn't matter about it being straight. Okay, straight down. Lift up. Yep, a great stamp. I wouldn't be disappointed in the stamp, but you do lose that shimmer when you do it this way. So again, I will do this on the black card for you with the same stamp. So my theory and my thought is, if you're looking for the shimmer and shine on black card with a stamp, these won't be the choice for you, but they will be the choice for you if you want to do your techniques, if you want to do your backgrounds, if you want to do your stenciling, if you want to do your water reactive techniques, if you want to do so many other things other than stamping. So I can see that. But again, can you see what I mean? It's not giving you, it comes out like a watermark. So don't choose these for stamping. But then if I take that Love Struck again onto the black card, let me do that. You'll see, I lift that up. It's definitely there. I've not put ink all over there. Let's get that middle piece as well for you. There you go. That'll be better. So you can see that it is absolutely perfect when you use it for your ink blending techniques, but it isn't going to be that it's down there. See, you've lost it completely, really. So there you go. So that gives you an honest review of whether I would stamp with them. If you like it like this, absolutely great. Absolutely great. If you want it to be on the black card, probably not. If you've got a stamping platform, you might find going over once or twice, it might make a difference. I haven't got one with me today. However, I like them for this rather than this. Okay. Now, what else did I want to show you? I wanted to show you the storage stackers as well. So I'm going to move all of this out of the way for now, and I'm going to bring in the storage stackers. Now, these are super cool, and I'm going to pop the inks like so. And I'm bringing them in this way on purpose. So they're all looking rather strange. And when you get yours home, they will come like this, okay? They will come in 2 sets of 3, like so. We separate these out. Yours will actually come together, but obviously I've taken mine apart. Now, what's great about them is you've got this groove at the side and a solid piece at the front so they can't fall out. And then you take your other one and I'm trying to get it in the camera's eye. So let me see if I can do this. Actually, let me turn it that way so you can see kind of the indent here. And you take this side and you pop it, see that, in there, and you slide in. Okay, and you can pull that out, in and out, so you can have it sitting kind of like so. You can have them all the way along if you want to, and then you push that. And then the next one, you'll see here, these are indented with the solid piece at the front. So you need the piece that is not indented, or the piece that's protruding, and then you'll do the same. Now I have to get this at an angle so I can see what I'm doing, because it's at the top. And then you slide that in. If you find it's tricky to slide in, maybe a little bit of Vaseline will help. There you go. And now you can see that's like so. We'll put the last one on, and you've got the indents and the protruding pieces, and of course you've got this piece to contend with. So I tend to sit it like so, and I'll make sure I line up. Actually, that's the wrong way. Is that the right way? Let me make sure. Hang on, and make sure I've got that right. There you go. So you have to work out which way round it goes. And then I'm going to literally pop that into the corner, and that will sit down like so. Okay, and that's how you can continue to build them. Obviously you're going to get 2 more. You can either go to the side or you can go to the top. I think I'll go to the side, and I'll pop that one like so, and you'll become kind of a bit faster as you do more, and then you'll kind of feel your way as well rather than having to look all the time. And that one's a little bit stiffer, but if I struggle with that, I would just pop some Vaseline on. So now we can keep our inks lovely and safe, and they'll go in here. Pop that like so. Pop that one in there. In there. In there. And my desk is messy, but I will turn you around and I will show you from the front. Okay, from the front view, if I lift that up for you, you'll see now they're all stored beautifully inside there. So you can keep building this and building this and building this to be as big, as wide, as tall as you want. You do also get some stickers in here as well. So if you want the stickers to put on the front of your ink pads, you've got those as well. So we try to think of everything, or as much as we could for you. So I really hope that helps. So you can see that the ink pads are great for blending. The ink pads are great on black and white card. The ink pads are great for stamping on white card, not necessarily on black card. You lose a little bit of the shimmer, but they are a great stamping ink as well. They stay wet for quite a long time. So, you know, if they are still wet, you got time to put your embossing powders on. Just a really good all-round, super bright ink. And I love the way that you can blend the yellows and the blues, the pinks and the oranges, and the pink and the purple will be stunning. So grab your inks, have a little play, and leave me a comment below and let me know if you like them. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.